All right. Right, in this video, I'm going to be talking about risks and decision making, because a lot of people, at least younger than me, I can't speak for people older than me, especially in this day and age, are never taught risk management, and are never taught how to make correct and definitive decisions that are going to benefit their life. And what I've learned in my very, very brief but quite effective journey as an entrepreneur and someone that's made a lot of money for quite a young age is that your ability to take risk and your ability to make good decisions is going to be the absolute defining factor to your success. Risk and good decisions is the difference between me sitting in this chair and you sitting behind that camera or on that fucking side of the screen, whatever. And it's something I want to talk about because I speak a lot with my followers. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I've probably messaged you at some point. If you haven't, send me a DM. And I speak to a lot of you, and what I've realized is your almost embarrassing ability to make any decision or your inability to take any risk when you probably should. So I want to talk about it because it's going to help you a lot. Because entrepreneurship isn't just, statistics and methods and all this shit. A lot of it is kind of coming down to the kind of person you are. And more specifically, the actions you take when you should take them. So by the end of this video, I'm going to give you a method on how to make any decision ever, and also the importance of risk in your life if you want to get anywhere you want to go. Because if you're watching this, I know for a matter of fact, none of my followers are losers. All of you have big ambitions. None of you want to be down the fucking rug mat like most people are in life. You want a big life. You want big things. You want to have a good life. So, firstly, let's talk about risk. Now, I can only talk about myself because I am myself, but from also speaking to loads of rich people, because I live in Dubai, I can tell you quite confidently, none of them, and I mean none of them, zero, not a single one, including myself, got to the position we're in without risking everything at least once. Most more than me. I speak to some of these fuckers, they've risked everything more times than I've had years on earth. Now, if you're looking at me thinking, bullshit, enjoy your shit life. I am telling you, to get to the position you want to go in life, at some point, you're going to have to risk more than you are prepared to. And that's why there's so few successful people in this world. Most people are shit munchers. I don't mean to insult you if you are a shit muncher, but it's a reality call. You're a shit muncher. When was the last time you risked basically every single penny you own? When was the last time you risked the adoration of your family? When was the last time you did something that you didn't know the absolute outcome? Because for me and the people I know, it's almost every fucking week. Now, I'm not saying this to gloat, and I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. I'm saying this to give you perspective that you might not have as someone that isn't in the position I'm in or knows the people I know. Because when I was 18, 19, 20, I didn't know this. I didn't think, I'll just get a job and I'll, start something and then something will pop off and then maybe I'll do. No, that isn't how it works. You don't just go through the rungs. It isn't like ladder by ladder by ladder by ladder. At some point, you're going to have to make a jump. At some point, you're going to have to take a risk. Now, I knew this intrinsically. This is sort of woven into my DNA. From the moment I've been born, all the way through my life, I've always taken the risk. From school, whether it was talking to some girl that I wanted to hit on, or if it was saying something I wanted to say, or if it was fucking not turning up to a lesson, or if it was getting someone to cheat on my homework, I always took the risk. And as a result, I got kicked out of school, and I've had a pretty adventurous life. Whether it was on the golf course, if there was a certain shot that I might have been able to hit that would have been able to get me on the green in a better position, I would hit the shot. I'd hit the risky shot. I would never hit out. I'd never have the safe play. I'd be like, you know what, fuck it, this is gonna be sick. Let's do it. And sometimes I'd pull it off. And I'd be like, yes, great. And sometimes I would fuck it up and I'd be in a worse position than ever. And I'd have to crawl out a fucking hole. But what I've learned about being successful, what I've learned about this divine place that everyone wants to be in is that you are never going to get anywhere you want to go without at least taking one massive risk, probably every few months. And that's scary because most of you are pathetic. And I'm saying that because I used to be too. Not like as much as some people, but the level of risk you're prepared to take is going to be mirrored in the place you are in life. And you already know this to be true. If you're watching this right now, you're on that side of the camera. I'm on this side of the camera. Why is that? Do you have hands? Do you have a brain, eyes, a mouth? Like, what is it I have that you don't have? What have I done which you are incapable of doing? Now, I don't know you as a person, but I know me as a person. And from what people have told me, and I know myself, I am willing to take the risk. Because I would rather risk everything for everything I want than to not risk it and not have everything I want. Does that make sense? Like, a lot of you are sitting there and you are happy to not risk everything you have because you're somewhat comfortable with what you have. Like, you look at your surroundings, I don't know, you're in your bed, on your table, eating food right now. You're comfortable with what you have. You're not prepared to risk everything you have for what you desire. Does that make sense? I was prepared to risk everything for what I really, not what I wanted, what I fucking desired. Like, I didn't come from an awful family. Like, I wasn't dirt broke. I'm not gonna sit here like some prick and say, oh, I came from nothing. It's not true, okay? I didn't come from nothing. Like, I would have been okay. My life wouldn't have been awful, but it wouldn't have been what I wanted it to be. And I knew if I wanted to get there, I had to take certain risks, whether that be risking the adoration of my family. My family wanted me to do one thing, told them to get fucked. Said, nah, I want to do something else. Risking the direction of my education. My teacher said, do this, do this, do this. I said, that's bullshit, get fucked. Whether it was being in university, all my uni friends doing uni work, me being the only person that said, nah, fuck it, I'm doing something else. I have taken the risk, and as a result, I'm in the position I am. And I try to make it clear to myself that you need to keep taking risks. And I'm telling you, you do need to keep taking risks. Because risks are the jump between where you are now and where you want to be. And most people never get there because they're too fucking scared. Which is going to lead on to my next point, which is about making decisions. But they're too scared to take the leap to where they want to go in risk of losing everything they have. And some of you are sitting there thinking, nah, I take risks, nah, I take the... You don't take risks. You really don't. Who the fuck's messaging? And it is imperative that you get good at taking them. Now, this falls onto my next point. When I say people, oh, you should take risks, they think, oh, really? I should jump off a bridge and hopefully I fucking don't die? Like, no, obviously, you fucking idiot. Like, when I say take risks, I mean take calculated risks. And a calculated risk is what you should be taking, okay? So, I'll give you an example. Say, for example, I have money, I want to invest it in something, I don't know if it's gonna pay off, but if it does pay off, I don't want to say, do I sound like a gambler? Do I sound like I go to the fruities every weekend and I just gamble my life away? Maybe I am. Maybe that's just what it's like. You know, you see the people at the fucking blackjack table and you think, oh, they're ruining their life. Maybe they're the guys that actually pull it off because they take all the risk. Anyway, I'm saying take calculated risk. If I have money and I want to invest it in something, and I don't know if it's going to pull off, but if it does pull off, it's going to change my fucking life. And if it doesn't pull off, I'm going to be kind of fucked. And I have a pretty good suspicion that I'm confident that I'll be able to pull this off. I'll take the fucking risk. I will take the risk. There was a time, I'll make it appropriate. I run an academy, I teach people copywriting. If you want to work with me, it costs money. So to some people, that's a lot of money, they take a risk. I have paid for mentorship in my life. I've paid for people to give me information. There was a time about a year ago, I paid $25,000 for mentorship from someone. That was a lot of fucking money to me. Like, 25 grand was a lot of money. And I thought, do I fucking do this? Like, realistically? And in the end, I decided to do it. I gave this fucking dude $25,000 for information, which would help me further in business. And it paid off. And luckily, I'm okay. But this is where I get to the next part of this video. Because risk is important. Taking risk, calculated risk is important, because if you are somebody that doesn't take any risk, you are not going to get anywhere in life. You're going to be in the same position as everyone else. Because if you do everything you've ever done, you're going to get what you've always got. And most times, everyone in your position does the same thing. That's why they're all in the same position. The reason the rich are where they are is because they don't do what everyone else does. If everyone did the same thing, they'd all be in the same position. But why is there not many rich people and there's loads of poor people? Because not many rich people do the same thing, but it's different to all the poor people. And 9 out of 10 times, that means taking a fucking risk. Doing something unorthodox, doing something that most people wouldn't recommend. That's why they are where they are. They flipped the coin and said, fuck it. Heads, tails, one's gonna change my life, one's gonna put me in a hole, but I'll be okay. And to some guys, that's all they do. Like, you're listening to me thinking, maybe he's talking shit, maybe this is bullshit. I'm telling you, there's lots of guys in this world, many of who you probably follow online or know online. To them, and myself included, it is just everything or nothing. I understand, I'm 24. I've got 50 years, 60 years, 70 by the time technology advances. I don't know what's gonna happen after I die. I'm 24. I don't have that many responsibilities. I don't have kids. I'm not married. I'm not responsible for a family. If there's any time to take massive fucking risks, it's now. And if you're watching this and you're below the age of 26, 27, I suggest you grow some fucking balls and you do start taking them. Because by the time you're 40 or you're 50, I don't know, but I can only assume based on what I've seen with my own eyes, you're gonna look back and think, fuck, I wish I took those risks. I can't take them anymore. I'm too old. I've got too much to lose. Too much riding is on it. Too much is riding on me succeeding. But if you're under the age of 30, your life should be a never-ending risk to get what you ultimately and defiantly want. Which leads on to my next question. My next part of this video. You shouldn't just take risks. You should take calculated risks. And the way you do that is by asking yourself these 3 questions. Now, I had a mentor about a year and a half ago, and we were talking about decisions. And what decisions to make, what decisions not to make, what's a good one, what's a bad one, should you do it, should you not do it, is this stupid, is this a good risk, is it a bad risk? And it came down to these 3 questions. Now, any decision you have, any big decision you have in life, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. These 3 questions have made me over $1 million. So I'm giving them to you for free. You're fucking welcome, because they did change my life, all right? And also my camera is about to die, so I need to hurry the fuck up. Whenever you are about to make a big decision, you need to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, what is the best case outcome? Number 2, what is the worst case outcome? And number 3, what is the likely case outcome? Right? Let me go through them for all of you smooth brain individuals that don't understand that. Number 1, best case outcome. When I say the best case outcome, I want you to imagine you've made a decision and the best fucking scenario happens. Like, the best fucking case scenario, as good as it can get. Like, you invest in something, it 100x's overnight. Your life is as good as can be, it pulls off, everything is amazing. Next, the worst case scenario. I want you to imagine you make a decision, because I guarantee every single one of you right now is thinking of making a decision and you don't know whether you should. So keep this in mind. Number 2, the worst case scenario. Think of the worst fucking case scenario, the worst possible outcome. How bad can things get if you make this decision and it goes south? Okay? So for example, for me, when I was in university and I was trying to become a copywriter and I decided, you know what, fuck my uni work, I'm gonna do this. I asked myself this question. Best case scenario, I don't have to do uni, I do copywriting full time, I make 5 figures. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work, I move back in with my parents, I get a job, I learn copy while I have a job until I make enough money to quit my job, I then do it full time, and then I have my own money and I can do what I want. And then you have to ask yourself the third question, which is what is the likely outcome? Because it will never be the best, and it will never be the worst. And when I say worst, I mean literally the worst. Like, when I say worst, I mean you lose all your money and your passport and your house burns down and you have nowhere to live and all your family members die. Like, I'm talking that worst, okay? And the best, I mean the best of the best of the best. But what I really want you to focus on is the likely case outcome. The decision you're about to make. What is the likely case outcome? Think about it critically. From the past, try and predict the future. What have you seen from the past that can predict the future? Based on this decision, what usually happens? And for my case, when I was trying to become a copywriter, because this was a big decision in my life, I was like, fuck, do I do this? Do I just go down the normal path? And I was like, nah, fuck it. I want what I want. And what I want is money and freedom. And that wasn't going to come from being at uni. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to do this. And the likely case outcome was that if I stay in university, I'm going to have a shit life. Because I'm going to get a job and I'm going to have no money. The best case outcome was probably going to be, I was going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars and live a good life. The likely case outcome was, based on my own experience, based on my capability, based on who I know I am as a person, I think I'm going to pull this off. And that's the definitive kicker. I'm speaking to you as an individual. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know what you've been through. But based on the decision you're about to make, the likely outcome, based on who you are as a person and what you know about yourself, what do you think will happen? And when I asked myself, I said, I'm going to fucking do this. There's no way people can do this and I can't. Based on the things I've done in my life, based on the achievements I've got, the things I've been through. You're telling me I can't make an extra fucking grand or two a month online writing Google Docs? Bullshit. I knew I could do it. And for that reason, I said, fuck it, and I did it. But that is how you have to think. One, you need to make sure you're taking plenty of risks, because if you don't take risks, you're never going to get anywhere you really want to go. Because everywhere you want to go is everywhere that everyone else isn't prepared to risk to get to. Secondly, all the risks you do take, you need to ask those three questions. Whether it's investing in something, getting something, altering your path of life, you need to ask yourself these three questions. And if you do that, one, you'll have a lot more clarity, and two, you'll be a lot more prepared. If it went shit, if it went sideways, you know what I would have done? I would have gone home, and the worst case scenario is I would have fucking slept on the sofa with my parents, and I would have figured something out. The worst case scenario. That was my worst case scenario. If you can come to terms with your worst case scenario, you get pretty comfortable. And then you have the balls to take the fucking risk, and you can do it, and you'll ultimately probably change your life. All right? My camera is about to fucking die. So I'm gonna leave you on that thought. One, you are never gonna get anywhere in life without taking massive fucking risk. And two, if you're gonna take a risk, ask yourself these three questions. What is the likely case outcome? What is the best case outcome? And what is the worst case outcome? Once you have all those three, make a decision. I made it when I invested in mentorship. I made it when I decided to become a copywriter. I've made it 100 times in my life. Sometimes it's been bad, sometimes it's been good, sometimes it's been likely. But at least I had clarity on the decision I was making. And most of you motherfuckers have no idea how to make decisions. You just think, I don't know, and you don't make one. I mean, you do by not making one, but you don't make the one you probably should make. So think about it. Because it will change the trajectory of your life. And I really want to emphasize the risk thing. You are gonna die. I say this to the people I coach in Copy Academy. You're gonna fucking die. One day, that's it. Lights off. You get one fucking spin. So, if you're gonna make the most of it, now's the fucking time. I would rather risk everything and lose it all than go to sleep at night when I'm 50 or 60 thinking, maybe I could have had it all. You know? So take that away with you.